What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and today we'll be talking about two different stocks, two Elon Musk stocks. We'll talk about SpaceX first and then Tesla. Tesla's got a lot more history to it. SpaceX is pretty new, right? Brand new as of June. Here you are up this week about 5%. You're down today, I think, a little bit. Yeah, down like 3.5%, but moving up, having a nice recovery from your overall descent from your IPO early days there. You can see that you moved down in a nice straight line here, and we've rounded out that bottom, and you're seeing the tide shifting to the bullish effect to the upside here over the recent week. A lot of volume coming in as we're moving up here. I think that we are just seeing a standard retracement from this all-time high to all-time low level. And with that, we've gone just above the 382. It's very common to wick above the 382 and then close below it, come back down, find support at the 236, and then move up to the golden ratio. But we haven't done that. We actually hit the 382, came down a little bit, and then closed above it yesterday. 3 hours, 45 minutes left. Don't get discouraged. We absolutely could see some recovery by the end of the day. Today could absolutely close higher than yesterday's close and even above yesterday's highest price. So we can be moving up higher. I think that we're going to continue to move higher to this golden ratio. And that's what I was alluding to. Whether we go back to the 236, whether we just move up from here, however we do it, we consolidate and then we move up later, whatever the case may be. I think this is our area of interest, is this golden ratio first. And that should take us again around somewhere like $178 to $168, somewhere in this zone. That would be the first point of interest. Just above this high, gets people excited, they FOMO in at the top, and then we drop down. Now, if we don't stop there, it's completely possible that we move up to this 786 level, which is right below $200. It gets you close to that all-time high level, and it makes you excited, euphoric, feeling like you're going to miss out on something. That FOMO really kicks in. People buy the top. Same kind of idea there. Moving in this fashion and just a little bit higher than this golden ratio here, especially getting above this high, will really excite people. But then again, we would be filling this gap that we formed all the way back here on day 4 of SpaceX's existence as a public company. We'd be filling that gap, and that gap fill, I think, would inevitably promote some downside as well. We don't have to fill this gap. I was really thinking that we had to fill it before going lower, but we've gone so far down. We don't have to fill this gap in time. I don't care how it is, man. It could be years from now we fill that gap. It'll get filled inevitably. But from here, I guess what I'm trying to say is not that I'm super confident that we're going to 191. That is a target area. That is something that we've called for in prior days, prior weeks. But to more address the most likely target areas, which from here would be 168 to 178. And then 191. Don't get that mistaken as the target area is anywhere from 191 to 168. It's not. We could stop lower. We could stop higher. It's possible if you want a broad range, maybe the 0.5 to the 886 would be a better broad range. But more specifically, it's either this range or this specific area here. If it's not 191.50, it's 192.50, 192, 191, 190.50, something like that, right around this level. This here, 178 to 168, it can be anywhere in between that range. It's not just one of those numbers specifically. It's more of a range. So specific level, range. And then anything in between this level here and this level here, that's not a target. That would not be a target. It's either you stop here or you're going all the way up to this level. It's not that in between. It's not the whole zone itself. Does that make sense? So more just trying to discuss the potential areas of interest where you might want to go short. You might want to think about selling. You might want to think about de-risking or potentially opening up some what are they, puts, whatever the case may be. I do believe that SpaceX will see new all-time highs. I do believe that this will be a very, very high value company, multi-trillion-dollar asset over the coming years. I still believe, being this early here, we've got a lot of selling pressure to still work through, and some acquisition to work through as well. And I think that we will go lower. I do believe that we'll see even lower prices than this in time. So again, from up in this area, I would believe that layering in some shorts, or at least layering out of longs, layering out of calls, selling any stock that you may have bought at spot price, whatever the case may be, would be a smart idea. And then just reassessing, getting ready for lower prices inevitably. I do believe that we'll see prices below $100. At this rate, it'll probably be sometime either in September or October. By the end of this year, I believe that we will get there. If not, then we probably come back down here, we bounce again, and then instead of sometime by the end of this year, it could be early next year that we see those prices come down. Anyways, 1 hour time frame, and we're going to get the extended session here. There we go. Can we do 24 hours? Is that a thing? Does that change it? Whoa. What was this new? This is new, guys. This is new stuff. I like this. It's just more coherent. Anyways, it's because it's tokenized. That's so cool. It's being integrated. I love crypto so much, man. If it wasn't for crypto, we would not have 24-hour stocks. Unfortunately, though, I mean, 24-hour stocks is cool and all, but what happened, right? This is during the session, and this is during the after hours. Look at, like, not a whole lot happened. I guess you moved down a little bit early. Anyways, looking at the 1 hour time frame, the RSI, should we even use this? Are the big dogs going to be using this? Let's just look at the regular sessions and see. That RSI looks less weird, right? Like that's janky. That's weird. This looks more normal. So maybe for the time being, while things are integrated, even though there is the extended session hours, we'll just use the regular stuff because that's probably what the pros, the trading algorithms for this are using anyways. Looking at the RSI, it is bullish. Getting overbought consistently like this is very bullish. We're at an area that we bounced last time. We can go lower. If we get a lower low in the RSI, but we have a higher low in the price, it's hidden bullish divergence. Here we are, right at prior resistance, potentially finding support here. So don't get too excited for lower prices. I think this is a good time for an entry. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. Looking at the 3 hour time frame, same kind of idea, right? Prior resistance, prior support, kind of in this area. And then also we are at the 382, I believe, from this high to low. Yeah, we're right at the 382, so perfect area to find support and move up. From here, I suspect we'll see something on the lines of like a 20% to a 27% move, if not more. Okay. Looking at the indicators here, 3 hour RSI is very bullish. Lower lows in the RSI, higher lows in the price, hidden bullish divergence. Same thing with the stochastics, the MACD, they're all bullish. Continue to grow. I don't really have anything else to say. We've hit on all the topics. Let's move on to Tesla. Okay. So again, just to summarize SpaceX, we're probably going to move up. How fast? I don't know. Somewhere around this high, probably just above this high, if not all the way up to fill this gap. That should happen by the end of August, if not sometime early September, and late August, early September, sometime in there. And then we should start to see some decay as well. Will it be as fast as this? Will it be faster? Will it be fast and then we move up and it's meandering and then we drop and then however it looks, I don't know, but I do assume that we're going to move lower at some point from this area and likely lower than this low. I don't believe this all-time low will sustain. I do believe we have lower lows to test, but that'll prove itself true over the coming months, probably over the coming months. Let's talk about Tesla, TSLA. Tesla. We don't need that fib. That fib looks weird. Weekly time frame here. Moving down, big sell-off a few weeks ago. You do have a nice reversal candle. You did not get a solid body up. You don't necessarily need it. Whenever you get a solid body down, like this candle here, and you get this doji at the bottom, get a little doji at the bottom, and you get a solid body up, that's typically a reversal signal. You did have a pretty solid body here, but it's not that extreme in comparison to this drop here. I would have liked to see it come up at least halfway through this candle, if not more. Sometimes you do get this where it'll be like this and then it'll slowly grow as time goes on and it's still a reversal. But we need to be apprehensive and just aware of what's going on the day-to-day price action over the coming weeks. This really could be a reversal point. This setup, solid body down, doji like that, low volume, it really is a good setup for a reversal. Let's see if there's other signals for that there. From a low to a high, right off the golden ratio zone, it's pretty perfect. You did just miss the golden ratio. Sometimes that's an unfulfilled prophecy, and you inevitably have to hit that level before moving up higher. Or, in this case, that would be your, I don't know what's going on here. That would be, what's going on? That would be your second interaction with the golden ratio. So that might actually promote lower price action. The first interaction typically does hold as support. The second interaction, this is where you typically break through, actually. So it could be, again, an unfulfilled prophecy that still needs to happen, but then that'd be a secondary interaction, and that does up the chances to go lower. However, again, if this was a bounce off the golden ratio, if this is a reversal, if there was front running here, people were buying before you actually hit the golden ratio zone, that could stand to be a solid level of support. Just depends on what we do over the coming days, over the coming weeks, and how high up we go here. I would say if we could start closing weeks above $370, I would be bullish on Tesla for new all-time highs, or to at least not go below this low. New all-time highs, sure, inevitably, but how long does it take? Is it immediate? Does it take weeks? Does it take months? I don't know. Sometime next year at this time. But if this is going to be just another point at which we decay from, maybe we wick above 370, but we're not closing above 370. Let's see. I'm sorry. Let's change that. Not 370. Let's say 380. Get a week to close above that weekly low there. 380. Yeah, 380. You can wick above there, but if you're not closing above there, it doesn't matter. And really, ultimately, closing above $408, closing above this 236 here, this red line, this is what will really help decide that this is the low. And even then, you still have a lower high, but it depends on how it happens. It depends on what goes on. Even though it would be a lower high here, you would be breaking out of this downtrend, right? If you got up here. So there's definitely a lot of exciting things that would happen above this $380 level. There's a lot of resistance at that level too, though, both as, from price action, from this descending trend line here, probably from fib retracements as well. Let's just see. From a high to a low. 385, the 0.5, 362, that area will stand to provide resistance. I think we're going to go there. I think that we would go to 360 to 385, but past that is hard to say, right? So from here, I'm definitely bullish. I think that we'll move up. But let's look at the indicators on the daily time frame. Daily time frame, looking at the RSI, we've got lower highs here. You do have lower highs. You got oversold. That's not encouraging. This does look like a bearish RSI. However, we just might break out of this. We'll see. We'll see. You can break out of it here. Let's see what we do for the rest of this week. You're moving up, not a whole lot of volume. You did move down. That looks like a breakaway gap. You've reset your stochastics. I don't know, man. Again, you were set up for a reversal last week. And what we're doing this week is not really a continuation of that. We only have a day left. I'm getting less bullish looking at this, man. I'm getting less bullish, actually. Daily time frame makes me cautious. Because the last time we were here at the stochastics, we were at a high point. Right? The MACD's bearish overall. And the RSI is still in this kind of downtrend. I don't care if we're here breaking out of it. You're still in this downtrend. Getting that deep in the oversold zone, typically you see multiple iterations. Right? Like you get deep in the oversold zone, you go back into it, you go back into it. It's not just this one and done kind of thing. Typically, not always. Let's see. Weekly time frame here. RSI bouncing off the oversold zone, that's good, and you have bullish divergence, higher lows with lower lows, that is good. And that would at least suggest that you go up to about 350, and if you go there, you're probably going to go to 360, 380. I'm just back and forth, man. I don't know. I don't know. I'm going to stick with the upside. Just be apprehensive to the downside danger. I don't know, the possibility of the downside. If we see a day close below $320, I would say at that point that I'm very convinced that we are going to go below 297, below this low. We'll probably even go to the 270s or somewhere around there, somewhere between 290, 270, somewhere in that range. If we close below $320, right? Is that what it was? 320, yeah. But as long as we're above 320, I think we're fine. And we should be moving up to that 360, 385 area, something like that, if not higher. We'll keep an eye on Tesla. Pay attention. I am giving it the bullish effect. This is the call to the upside. But again, just be aware of the potential downside. The only reason I'm sticking with the bullish side is because, yes, the daily RSI is bearish, but you are kind of breaking out of that bearish trend, kind of. The stochastics are getting overbought, which last time didn't serve you well, but sometimes it does. As long as you hold above 320, I think it'll serve you well. The MACD's so far down, it is bearish overall, but you've got a lot of room to run up here. And then the weekly time frame is really what does it for me, man. Bouncing off that oversold zone like that, I mean, throughout your history, this has been a pretty good area to buy. And then on top of that, the reversal signal in the weekly price itself. So there is definitely some confliction going on between the bulls and the bears. I think we're going to give it to the bulls. But just be apprehensive, be aware that if we get below 320, we're going to flip bearish real quick and probably see prices that are at that next stage down from a low to a high here. My expectation would be probably 256 to 280, somewhere in that range. I've got nothing else. Hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. Take care. Bye-bye.